Hello everyone, welcome to the Bias Report for the week of June 17th, 2019. So, unfortunately, I'm going to have to cancel this podcast, you guys. It turns out that this week, all the normal sites I turn to for my biased news decided to all come together and stop sensationalizing things one way or the other. That's right, they all made one big collective decision to be truly fair and balanced, stop all the infighting, and truly make America great again. I'm just kidding. I started this podcast after April 1st, so I didn't get to April Fools you guys. But clearly that's not the truth, and I don't see that happening anytime soon. Anyway, I've got a good show for you. I'll be right back with the weekly rundown. Be right back. And I'm back. And now for this week's weekly rundown. This is where I take different headlines from around the World Wide Web, from the left, right, and all other points of the political spectrum, and see what they tell me with zero fact-checking or any reading of the article. Zero context at all. Just the title. This week we're starting on the right. Okay, here we go. From Fox News. Tom Homan. Democrats, liberal media pushing false narrative on border enforcement. The freaking liberal media is at it again, pushing a narrative not 100% based on fact to these poor, unsuspecting people. Thank God I watch Fox News, who have much, much higher standards. Up next, also from Fox News, Hong Kong sends China a powerful message and proves Trump is right. Okay, call me crazy, but I don't think that those millions of protesters standing up for their rights on the other side of the planet would give a second thought about proving Trump right or wrong about anything. But go ahead and force your opinion on top of this story anyway. Why not? That's just what we do these days. Up next, from The Blaze. Gay man who came of age in the 70s says that today's gender fluidity and orientation confuses and enrages even him. See, this is a gay person we approve of, who doesn't support all of this scary new stuff that we just want to pretend doesn't exist. Let's put him on the front page. Up next, from the National Review. Trump is expanding Obamacare in a good way. Obamacare. Good. Same headline? Wow, Trump must be doing something right, huh? Up next, from Breitbart. Angel dad yet to see real justice for daughter killed by illegal alien. Once again, a terrible story, dredged up to enrage people about the immigration problem. My issue here is that you could just as easily pick up one of probably hundreds of murder cases committed by real red-blooded Americans also. But instead, they went and cherry-picked just the one that was committed by an illegal immigrant. All right, that's all from the right. On to the left side of the spectrum. From Jacobin. Winning socialism is about winning freedom. Geez, this site, Jacobin, I've done a couple stories from them, is just about as bad as anything on the right. Equating socialism with freedom is a bit of a stretch, if you ask me. Go read a little about what happened in the USSR or Venezuela more recently. Up next, from CNN. Fact-checking Trump's campaign rally. So don't bother having an impartial article about Trump's speech and letting folks decide for themselves about the man's character. Why don't you just immediately jump to conclusions and fact-check it instead? Sounds like CNN. Up next, from MSNBC. Don Jr. mocks Biden over push to cure cancer. Hours later, Trump says he'll cure cancer. Those freaking Trumps are at it again, mocking people for trying to do good things. Oh wait, Donald talked about it himself? We should maybe mock him in the headline instead. Up next, from Alternet. How, quote, socialism became the newest word for, quote, anything a Republican lawmaker doesn't like. How dare they use a blanket term for anyone on the other side? Those damn conservatives. You know what? I think these people are now far right. Up next, also from Alternet. This is the most devastating and revealing poll number for Trump. Another headline in the now recurring vein that I've noticed. A new, devastating poll number. Yep, Trump is doomed all right. We can all agree on that, right? At least if we read this site, we can all agree on that. All right, that's all from the right and the left. On to the other category. From the Huffington Post. Walmart sells graduation cake to mom without telling her it's styrofoam. What, Walmart? You think that just because people who shop there are, well, Walmart people, they'll just eat styrofoam? I bet that at least 70% of them would notice. Up next, from the Huffington Post. Man accidentally brings snake in backpack on plane from Florida to Hawaii. Sure, accidentally. I, for one, have seen Samuel L. Jackson's entire filmography, and I think I know how this story ends. Up next, from UPI. Russian man replaces Bentley sedan's wheels with tank treads. Here we go again. The bias against Russians. That they're all just crazy rednecks who love throwing their money around. I'm just kidding. We all know that's true about all Russians. Up next, from the Mirror. Brazen monkey takes selfie with stunned family, then gives them the finger. Okay, I'm going to admit it. I have a personal bias against monkeys, and this story entirely supports it. Stupid monkeys. And finally, from NPR. Man inadvertently proves that hipsters look alike by mistaking photo as himself. Well, come on, we all already knew that, right? Have you ever been to a microbrewery here in Colorado? Same dude, copied and pasted about 35 times. That's what you'll find. All right, guys, that does it for the rundown for this week. I'll be back in just a minute with my main story. And I'm back. So once again, I kind of changed up the format this week because it's my show and I can do that if I feel like it. This week I was browsing Reddit, probably procrastinating because that's what Reddit is for after all, and I came across an interesting thread that I thought would play pretty well on this show. If you don't know what Reddit is a gigantic website that's basically a bunch of forums on all different kind of subjects that you can imagine. One of my favorite subreddits is called Ask Reddit, where people can post questions to the entire Reddit population, and people will answer, hence Ask Reddit. It gets really interesting because there's millions of people following this, and you get a really broad range of answers. This week, the question I found on Ask Reddit was, Liberals of Reddit, what is your most conservative view? Conservatives of Reddit, what is your most liberal view? I liked this thread because it shows that people are not completely one-dimensional and polarized, and that people can, in fact, have individual thoughts and ideas that do not support their political stances necessarily. Crazy thought, huh? So I'm just going to dive into a few of the comments and talk about them. Okay, here we go. This one posted by Space Horse. Super duper liberal government employee. I think it should be easier to fire federal employees. What? A liberal not supporting blind bureaucracy expansion? That's madness. Next, from user Giggity Goo coming for you. I'm conservative, but I support clean energy. 'Cause that's leftist or something, in parentheses. Yeah, shocking, huh? You can have conservative viewpoints and still care about the planet and environment. More dangerous thinking, if you ask me. Up next, from Action Jack 7. Conservative. I don't think the government should have any involvement in marriage. I think pot should be legal. So a conservative believes in these personal liberties? Weird. They're not supposed to do that, right? Up next, from Dale Wardark. Pretty far right here, but fuck Big Pharma making money off the backs of sick people. What? A conservative not backing private businesses? Madness. Up next, from Jeho. I'm a conservative, but I'm an atheist. It kind of sucks that there's a stereotype that all conservatives have to be devoted Christians. Yes, that does suck. And I'm really not sure how that happened. But no, you're not supposed to be an atheist. You're supposed to be a good, God-fearing American. Up next from Generico 300. Liberal here. The government sucks at most things, and they should keep their nose out of people's lives as much as possible. Liberal, huh? More like libertarian if you ask me. I thought liberals were supposed to think that the government would just fix everything for us. Up next from PGA Brony. I'm right-wing, but I'd like to see military funding cut. What, you don't believe in freedom? Or eagles and attack helicopters? Right-wing my ass. Honestly, though, if you ever have a chance, go look up a chart of military funding in the U.S. versus virtually any other country on the planet. It is astounding. Up next, from Kusheni616. Fiscal conservative, social liberal. If you're gonna tax us, use our fucking money wisely and let people be. Okay, that just sounds like you're a fiscal conservative, social liberal. Up next, from Joe Daddy. I'm left-leaning, but like my guns. But that's not the rules we play by on the left. I'm marking them as far right now. Up next, from Logan630. I'm a conservative, but I'm pro-choice and pro-LGBT. If someone isn't hurting anyone else, what's the problem with them doing what they want? Once again, you're off the team. Those people are probably Bible-burning baby killers. You are not allowed to support them and their choices. Up next, from Yonder I Ponder. I'm very far left. The instances where I see identity politics being used as an excuse to justify everything drives me up the fucking wall. Yes, exactly. I agree. That is all. Up next, Ron Swanson's old man. Conservative here. Marijuana should be legal. Well, short and sweet. It's too bad the conservatives are supposed to think that marijuana is bad because some of them could stand to blow off a little steam. And finally, from Pendletonsky Force. I lean left but get annoyed when immigrants is used interchangeably with illegal immigrants. They're different. Really? Are they really different? They don't look like me, and they don't live in suburbia with all the fakeness that goes along with it. They're all the same. I don't agree with you. I could go on and on with this thread. It goes on for way too long, which is, once again, like I said at the top, why Reddit is the best place to procrastinate if you're looking to burn a few hours. But the point is, I love coming across things like this, as it actually unites people, instead of dividing them apart. It makes them realize you can have a more nuanced stance than just being on the Democrat or Republican team. If you ask me, this stuff should be getting much more popular. Of course, if that was the case, Fox News and CNN's stock would probably plummet because they wouldn't be there to rile people up and scare them anymore. So I don't really see that happening anytime soon. Alright, and that wraps it up for today's show, guys. Thanks for joining me once again. I'll be back next Friday with a new episode of The Bias Report. As always, if you like the show, go ahead and hit subscribe. If you have any friends or family who you think might enjoy it, they can find me on Twitter at bias_report, on Facebook at The Bias Report, or at my website, thebiasreport.com. See you next week. Bye.